So the screen is being shared and you will be seeing here the verse for today, which is 439. And maybe, I'm not sure, maybe I should not be reading it now because it's, yeah, I do not want to take away Amarendra Prabhu's job here, but yeah, maybe since we are already, have already reached the 20-minute mark of our originally scheduled meeting, I will read the English translation for you. It's also a short purport. I could also read that one to you to maybe, yeah, bridge the time until he is with us. So the translation of this verse, which we will be talking about today in depth, is a faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge. And having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. So today we will be speaking about spiritual peace. And the purport is, such knowledge in Krishna consciousness can be achieved by a faithful person who believes firmly in Krishna. One is called a faithful man who thinks that simply by acting in Krishna consciousness, he can attain the highest perfection. This faith is attained by the discharge of devotional service and by chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, which cleanses one's heart of all material dirt. Over and above this, one should control the senses. A person who is faithful to Krishna and who controls the senses can easily attain perfection in the knowledge of Krishna consciousness without delay. So that is today's verse. We will be hearing about it from Amarendra Prabhu in a few minutes when he will have rejoined us. And there he is. I can see him. He is rejoining us.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Please forgive me. I think the internet has gone in the whole area, so I'm just joining through my phone, through mobile data. So please kindly forgive me for this unexpected trouble with beyond human intervention.
There were quite some unexpected things for us too. So now we're here, and I've just read the verse and the purport for those participants who have already joined. So as we were waiting, so that we could spend the time in a somewhat useful way, but I'll hand over to you now. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Om ajñānatimirandhasya jñānāṁ chakshurunmīlitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale swayam rupaha kada mahyam dadati svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminithi Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is Srimad Bhagavad-gītā As It Is, Chapter 4, Text 39. I really want to thank Karuna Shakti Prabhu and other devotees for kindly having me on the call. And please kindly forgive me for a 30-minute delay into the class. Of course, I was trying to get into the program, but I couldn't. So then finally I got some space in the program, but then the internet had its own plans. So please kindly forgive me for that delay. We will get started into the discussion. I'll quickly just read the Sanskrit verse and the translation, and then we'll get straight into the discussion. Śraddhā-vān labhate jñānaṁ, tat-paraḥ saṁyatendriyaḥ, jñānam labdhvā parām śāntim, acireṇādhigacchati. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. So this is the 39th verse of the 4th chapter in the Bhagavad-gītā. And I have been told that there are devotees who are systematically studying the Bhagavad-gītā verse after verse, chapter after chapter, and now it's the 4th chapter, 39th verse. In this section, Sri Krishna has given some very important secrets to make spiritual advancement. The first word in the verse is śraddhā-vān. I would like to spend time on each of these words, and then the verse speaks for himself as we spend time with these words. So the word śraddhā-vān is the first word, śraddhā-vān. Now we know in Sanskrit, like we know other words, the word Bhagavan is very famous and very popularly used. That's the word for God. Dhanavan, Vidyavan or Vidwan, Bhagyavan. These are all different words which end with the word Van. The word Van in Sanskrit means he who possesses. The word Dhana means wealth. So if someone possesses wealth, a rich man is called Dhanavan in Sanskrit. The word Vidya or Vit means knowledge. We know the word Veda. In Sanskrit, the word Veda comes from the root word Vit, and Vit means to know. So Vedas are the books of knowledge, those which are worth knowing, material and spiritual knowledge. So Van means to possess. So anyone who has a spiritual knowledge or someone who possesses that knowledge is called as Vidyavan or Vitwan. The word Bhagya means fortune. So anyone who has fortune, he who's fortunate in life, he who possesses Bhagya is called Bhagyavan. So Vidwan, Dhanavan, Bhagyavan, Saubhagyavan. These are all words seen in Sanskrit. Similarly, here the word used is śraddhā-vān. The word Shraddha is colloquially translated as faith, but it has a very specific meaning. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the magnum opus of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the definition of the word Shraddha has been given. Shraddha shabdhe vishwasa kohe sudrida nishchoy, Krishna bhakti koile sarva karma krita hoy. The word Shraddha has been defined as having this faith, not just any faith, not just some fundamental wobbling faith, but that fixed, unchangeable, unshakable, completely steady, rock solid faith and belief. Faith and belief in what? Shraddha shabdhe vishwasa kohe sudrida nishchoy. That firm determination, that firm conviction, that Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hoy, that the only thing I am born to perform in this world is Krishna bhakti and nothing else. Everything else has to be arranged materially only so that my Krishna consciousness is facilitated. But the main reason why I am born in this world is to perform Krishna bhakti. I would like to read a very nice section in this regard, again from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a very beautiful set of verses. I was reading this yesterday, and I was finding a need to share this in the next discussion. So this comes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 16, text. Text number is not here. Chapter 16 of Madhya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Tara madhye sthavara jangama dui bhed, jangame tiryak jala sthala chara vibhed. So the context is the glories of the human form of life has been extolled here systematically. So the first thing that has been mentioned is Tara Madhye Sthavara Jangama Dui Bhed. Krishna has created this whole creation, and they can be fundamentally categorized in two distinctions. First is Sthavara, and the second is Jangama, which means moving and non-moving. In the Sthavara, in the non-moving, you have trees, you have mountains, etc. But in the moving, in the Jangama, you have in the Sthavara, you have aquatics, you have the birds, you have the insects, you have the birds in the sky, the aquatics in the water, the insects and the animals on the land. So basically, Krishna's whole creation can be divided as Sthavara and Jangama. Jangama means non-moving, and Sthavara means moving. And in the Sthavara, please forgive me, I stand corrected. Sthavara means those which are non-moving, and Jangama which means which move. So in the Jangama, in the moving, Tiryak, Jala, Sthala Chara, those which move on the land, those which move in the water as aquatics, and those which move in the sky as birds. So systematically, this has been mentioned that in the non-moving, you have the trees and you have the mountains, but in the moving, you have the species in water, the species in the sky, and the species on the land. Now let's move ahead. Now on land, what has been mentioned? Tara Madhye Manushya Jati Ati Alpatar. Of all of these creations, the top on the pyramid of creation is the human creation, the human species, the Manushya Jati. Kaviraj Goswami says the human species are Ati Alpatar. They are certainly rarest of all the creations. And in that also, in the human populace also, Tara Madhye Mlecha Polinda Baudha Shabar. More than 50% are found as tribes in the uncivilized category of cannibals and meat eating, and those who are completely uncultured. This is what is found in this world. Now, for those who are cultured or those who act spiritual, they claim to be God conscious, they claim to be theistic in nature. The categorizations are as follows. Veda nishtha madhye ardek veda mukhe mane. For those who say, yes, I am a God believer, I am a theistic person, I'm cultured, I am following proper civilized codes of conduct, most of them in that category give only lip service. They don't follow it in real life. So for those who are just joining in, the quick overview of the categorization of all the creations in the Supreme Lord's creation in this world, we have those which are moving and those which are non-moving. In the non-moving, we have trees, we have mountains, etc. And in the moving, we have the birds in the sky, we have fish in the water, we have the animals and the insects and the human beings. And in that, the human populace is Ati Alpatar. It's very, very rare. It's the smallest. You can imagine Brahma's creation pyramid, and the base of that pyramid is filled with other creatures. And on the top, the peak of the mountain of Brahma's creation are the human beings. Now, out of the human beings, more than 50% are not civilized. They don't know how to wear clothes. They don't know how to eat. They don't know how to speak. They don't know how to interact with each other. They don't know the purpose of life. Now, for those who claim to know, more than 50% only give lip service. And for those who say that, yes, I consider the existence of God, I understand God exists, I understand the position of the Shastras, I understand the need of spiritual life, what they do is they give lip service through the tongue, through the lips. They say, yes, yes, I believe in God, but Veda nishiddha papa kare dharma nahi gane. They act exactly opposite to Shastra. They act exactly opposite to dharma. Have you all seen people like that? They say, yes, I believe in God. Yes, I'm a very good person. I'm very cultured, etc. But what they speak and how they act, they are not in sync. Now, for those who actually act according to the Shastras, more than 50% of them worship God with some selfishness involved. They want some son, they want a good wife, They want a big, bank balance. They need big houses. They need lots of material enjoyment. And because God is the person who can facilitate those desires of mine, let me go and bribe him with my prayers and with my worship and get what I want. So it's almost like God is like an ATM machine where I can put my card of spiritual practice and get out the cash that I want. Imagine if there's an ATM machine which doesn't give the cash, you won't go to him, right? Because you don't have affection for the ATM machine. You go there because you want the cash that comes out of the ATM machine. So similarly, many of them who go to God and they follow the Vedas, more than 50% of them, they do that because God is the one who seems to be the person who can fulfill their desires. So fulfillment of their desires matters more than God. It's not that they have any affection for Krishna. Tomorrow it could as well be someone else. Let's say if Krishna says, I resign, other person is going to become God, then all of those people now will give up the worship of Krishna and go to that person because it is that person who's going to give what they want. Now going ahead, for those who worship like that, those who worship Krishna for material desires, keep them aside. The rest of the people who try to serve God with a little bit of selflessness, why do they worship God? Because they want to become God. Brahma mein leen hona chahte. They want to become one with God. They want to have the position that, oh, when I get liberated, the soul merges into the super soul, I become one with God. Well, that's another level of cheating. And for those who are left behind in the category, hardly are those who selflessly approach God and become liberated from this world. And of all such people, you will find one devotee of Krishna who selflessly serves Krishna because he doesn't want anything. He only wants a smile on the face of Krishna. He loves Krishna. He has affection for Krishna. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, why am I reading this section? Is to explain the meaning of the word Shraddha. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the word Shraddha is defined as someone who has this fundamental faith and unflinching conviction that I have got this human form only to serve Krishna. And how should I serve him? I should serve him ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Now, this is a Sanskrit verse from the Bhagavatam, which says that true service to God must be unmotivated and uninterrupted. I repeat, unmotivated and uninterrupted. It must be completely selfless. What do you want from God? Well, I don't want anything from you, my Lord. I just want you to be happy. I just want you to be pleased with me. I just want you to smile at me. So this is unmotivated. I want your pleasure. I don't want anything from you. I want you. I don't want anything from you. I want you. Srila Prabhupada would give the example. When you go to a king, don't ask him for the ashes of a dead man. Go and ask him for his presence in your life. Prabhupada would say, what do? We go to God and we ask him for petty things. God gives us breath. Now, especially during this Corona time, we know how much oxygen cylinders and oxygen masks are of value. People are dying outside the hospital without beds in India, especially. So we know the importance of oxygen, and Krishna is giving us that oxygen without we asking. We don't desire, we don't deserve it. We didn't plan for it, we didn't work for it, but Krishna is still giving it. So we don't have to go and ask him for petty things when he's ready to give us things that we can't even desire and deserve, and he still gives us breath. We are gone off to sleep and he's the one pumping our heart. We just put samosas in our mouth, and Krishna knows how to properly crush that and give energy to the body, right? We don't know how the eyes work. We don't know how the lungs work. We don't know how the liver works. We don't know anything. We don't know how our system works, but Krishna is doing all of that. So Prabhupada used to say, go and ask the king for the king. Don't ask anything from the king. So we go and ask Krishna, not for petty things, but we tell Krishna that, Krishna, if there's anything you want to give me, give yourself to me. Give yourself to me. Let me bind you in my heart. So anyone who's completely convinced that my life is meant for selflessly unmotivated and uninterrupted. Uninterrupted means it's not that on a Monday when I have a mood and I have the right frame of mind, I will chant. But for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, well, I'm going through depression, I'm not going to chant. This is interrupted service. This is again selfish service. When I feel like I serve him, but when I don't feel like I don't. So bhakti is defined by these two characteristics. It must be selfless and it must be without stoppage. So śraddhā-vān, the first word in this verse, means someone who has complete conviction that in my life, I have got this rarely achieved human birth to perform bhakti. Nothing else. I have eaten everything else. I have seen everything else. I have heard everything else. I have tasted everything else. I have touched everything else. I have contemplated on everything else. But all of that put together has only and only polluted my consciousness to keep me in this world, one life after another. But this life, I am going to give myself to Krishna. I will not give myself to anyone. You see, in a marriage, the parents always pick the right boy for the right girl, especially in Indian marriage, arranged marriage culture. They will never settle for someone who's, not the perfect one, right? They will always pick the perfect boy, the perfect girl. When they have a son, they want the perfect wife for him. And when they have a daughter, they want the perfect husband for her. So when we want to give our mind, so we are like parents and our mind is our daughter. Why not pick the best husband for our daughter? I repeat, all of us are like parents. Our mind is our daughter. Why not give our daughter in marriage to the best boy possible? And that is God, that is Krishna. Why should we give our mind in marriage to temporary petty things of this world? Why should I give my mind in contemplation, in meditation, in introspection to things of this world? I should give the daughter of my mind, my daughter, which means all of our daughters, which means our mind, our intellect. We should get that mind and intellect married to Krishna. So someone who's completely convinced, unflinching faith that my life is meant only for this. Such a person is called śraddhā-vān. Shraddha means faith. Of that faith which never cracks with time. Never cracks with time. Absolutely never. There are so many stories in the scriptures which talk about unflinching faith. We are on the brink of celebrating Narsingha Chaturdashi. Think about the life of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad was 5 years old. And look at the inconceivably uncompromising faith that he had on the Supreme Lord. He was 5 years old. He was roasted in fire. He was put in a pot of boiling oil. He was thrown into flames of fire. He was kicked from the top of a cliff. He was attacked with deadly weapons. He was administered poison. He was put at the feet of a stampede of mad elephants. He was put in a pit of the most dangerous, hungry, poisonous, venomous cobras there. And not once did Prahlad feel, what happened to all that philosophy of the Bhagavad-gītā and the Bhagavatam? Where is God? He protects the devotees, but where is he? Prahlad did not feel that even once. This is Shraddha. Now, we will have different levels of Shraddha, different levels of faith. Prahlad, the faith that Prahlad has is the highest. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, 3 categories of devotees have been defined on the basis of their faith. The first is the 3rd class, and he has been described as Jahar Komala Shraddha, Say Kanishtha Jan, Krame Krame Shei Hoibe Uttam. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, how do you know who's a beginning devotee? A beginning, not an intermediate, not an expert, but just the beginning level devotee. How do you know that? Jahar Komala Shraddha. His faith on the Supreme Lord will be wobbling, will be very soft. When everything is favorable, he has very good faith, but when reversals strike in his life, then he's wobbling. But even he has faith, little by little, slowly but surely, he has hope. He will go up the rank of faith. Then the next level, the 2nd class, the intermediate level of devotion and faith, is that person Shastra Yukti Sunipun, Drida śraddhā-vān, say Madhyam Adhikari Mahabhagyavan, is a person who has very deep, unflinching faith in bhakti. He may not have the power to influence others, but he has the power that he will not be influenced by any opposition. So the third class, the beginning devotee, is he who's swept away by anyone and everyone's comments. When he's in the association of devotees, he says, yes, this is the right thing. But when he gets to the other side of the spectrum, when he's associating with non-devotees, he's associating with atheists, he's very, very quickly swept by their comments and by their thoughts. So his faith is wobbling. But the second class is he whose faith never wobbles. He may not be able to influence others in bhakti, but he will not be influenced by them either. He has like a nice bulletproof jacket to protect his faith on the path of bhakti. That's the second class. And the first class, Shastra Yukti Sunipun, Drida Shraddhā-jar, say Uttam Adhikari Taraye Sansar. It has been described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The third class, he cannot even save himself. He is swept by the thoughts of others. The second class, he saves himself, but he can't influence others. And the first class is such a great soul. He never gets influenced by others, but he has the power to influence others. Like Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was like probably the only pure devotee in the whole continent at that time, in the whole of North America. And Prabhupada could have very easily said, well, I'm trying to preach to them, but they wake up late. So, I'm also waking up late. He never said that. He was waking up early and he was inspiring others to wake up early. So he was protecting himself and he was protecting others. This is the first class devotee. So faith is of fundamental importance. It is the most important thing on the path of bhakti, because we haven't seen light yet, but we have faith that light exists. That is faith. Faith, Shraddha, is that point when you believe in the existence of the Supreme, although you haven't directly experienced it and realized it 100%. So this is śraddhā-vān. What does Krishna say? śraddhā-vān labhate jñānam. Such a person, only such a person who has this firm faith, labhate. Labhate means attains, achieves, gets, approaches. Jñānam. Jñānam means knowledge. What kind of knowledge? The knowledge that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere. This is the highest knowledge. Prahlad Maharaj, in all of his teachings, he gave many teachings to his friends, but the final conclusion of all of his teachings was the ability to see Krishna in all circumstances, in all persons, in all walks of life, in every object, in every person, in every circumstance, through ups and downs, through reversals, through dualities. One should be able to see the presence of Krishna. One should be able to see Krishna in a book. One should be able to see Krishna in a cup of water. One should be able to see Krishna in a slap given by someone. One should be able to see Krishna in the heat of a summer afternoon. One should be able to see Krishna even when the finger is bleeding. One should be able to see Krishna in all circumstances. Prabhupada was like that. Prabhupada said one should be able to see Krishna when we taste water. Rasoham apsu kaunteya, 7th chapter Bhagavad-gītā. When we taste water, we should tell ourselves, this taste is Krishna. When we see the light of the sun and the moon, we should say, this is Krishna. When you see ability in man, we should be convinced this is Krishna. When we smell the fragrance of flowers and the taste of fruits and vegetables, we should tell ourselves, this is Krishna. When we see very beautiful scenic beauty, we should tell ourselves, this is Krishna. When our body is very tired and we get sound sleep and we get refreshed and we wake up energized, we should tell ourselves, this is Krishna. So wherever we see anything beautiful, we should see that this is to be understood as Krishna. Why is it having that comfort? Why is it giving me that beauty for the eyes, of soothing music to the ear? We should say, this is Krishna. We may not be able to realize it completely, but at least philosophically, theoretically, we should be able to say, this is Krishna. When someone gives us profit, we should say, this is Krishna. When someone gives us loss, we should say, this is Krishna teaching me something. When someone is glorifying me, we should say, this is Krishna testing me. When someone is criticizing, we should say, this is Krishna teaching me. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he decided to go to Vrindavan, and so many people, thousands and millions of people joined with him. And Mahaprabhu was going on his way to Vrindavan. When he met Sanatan Goswami said, Mahaprabhu, don't go to Vrindavan with these crowds. Go alone. Don't go with these crowds. Because if you go with these crowds, they will have people of different moods and different intentions, and they will spoil your inner devotional spirit. So you go alone. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu learned from Sanatan Goswami. And in the words of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu says, Sanatana mukhe Krishna amake shikhaila. That Krishna taught me through the mouth of Sanatan Goswami. He was not saying, what is this Sanatan teaching me? No, he was thinking Sanatan Goswami is being used as an instrument by Krishna. He is teaching, Krishna is teaching me through Sanatan Goswami. So here Krishna is saying, if you want that kind of knowledge, not just temporary, but that to be the vision in life, to always see Krishna, then you have to start with faith. You have to start with faith. If you battle faith, then you don't go anywhere. You don't go anywhere. Just like when the father is throwing the child in the air, you know, sometimes when children are too small, you see parents play with the kids. They, you know, pop the children up in the air and then they catch the child and give some excitement to the child. Child feels very enthusiastic and excited. He starts giggling while he's in the sky. When the first time the father does that, the child may feel scared. Now what's going to happen to me? But when he comes down, he realizes the father is there to hold him, embrace him, and comfort him. So now his faith increases that when my father throws me up in the air, he's the one who's going to catch me. He's the one who's going to hold me. This is faith. So when devotees are up in the air in the form of reversals in life, dualities in life, problems in life, they know who put me in this problem, who threw me in the sky. It's my father, Krishna. And when I come down, who's going to hold me? It's going to be Krishna. So they laugh. When the babies don't know that, they cry when they're in the air. But when they know that it's my father doing it to give me pleasure, when the child comes down, he starts giggling and laughing, and he tells his father, I want more of it. I want more. You put me in the sky, in the air, and then I want more excitement. This is what Queen Kunti is saying. My Lord, give me more and more calamity, because I know you're doing it for my good. And you're the one who's putting me through that. And you're the one who's protecting me through that. This is faith. What Dhruva Maharaj had, that by going into the forest, I can find Vishnu in less than 6 months. This is faith. What Kunti and the Pandavas in the pages of the Mahabharata had, that Lord who puts me through all of this is the person who's going to get me through all of this. This is faith. When such a person, such a devotee has this unflinching faith. Now the word śraddhā-vān also refers to having faith in the scriptures. I have a very wonderful commentary here written down. This is by Sridhar Swami, one of the original commentators. He has commented on the Bhagavad-gītā, and in this context, Sridhar Swami says śraddhā-vān. So I'll read in Sanskrit and then I'll explain, because the original commentary is in Sanskrit. Sridhar Swami writes, śraddhā-vān guru upadishthe arthe astikya buddhiman tat-paraḥ tad ekanishtaḥ saṁyatendriyaḥ cha tad jñānam labhate na anyah atah śraddhā ādhi sampatya jñāna labhat prakarma yoga eva shuddhyartam anushtheyah jñāna labha anantaram tu na tasya kinjit krityam asti iti aha jñānam labdhvā tu acireṇa parām śāntim mokṣam prapnoti. Okay. So Sridhar Swami has said, śraddhā-vān. The word śraddhā-vān doesn't just mean faith. It means faith in what? What kind of faith? Śraddhā-vān, a person who has unflinching faith. Where? Guru upadishthe. In the words of Shri Guru, on the path given by Shri Guru. śraddhā-vān guru upadishthe arthe astikya buddhiman. The devotee should have faith in the scriptures, especially the path laid down by Guru. And in that process, astikyam, he should be steadfast, and buddhiman, he should be very intelligent. tat-paraḥ, he should be fixed on that path. And ekanishtaḥ, he should be without deviation. Saṁyatendriyaḥ, he should be self-controlled without having any deviation and distraction. And if this is the mood, then tad jñānaṁ labhate. Then such a person achieves complete knowledge about the self, that I am the soul, part and parcel of God, and he realizes the presence of Krishna everywhere. Na anyah, no one else. This is the characteristic. One should have faith in the scripture. One should walk on the path laid down by Guru. One should be steadfast. One should use those principles intelligently. One should be fixed on this path, and ekanishtaḥ. One should not get deviated through any other path. And as a result, one should be sense controlled. One should use all of one's energy on this path. If that shraddha is missing, let's say if that level of faith is not there, then what should we do? Then he continues. He says, ataḥ, if that is not there, śraddhā ādi sampatya jñāna labhat prakarme yoga eva shuddhyartam anushteyah. If that level of one-pointed faith is missing, then one should perform nishkam karma yoga. Nishkam karma yoga means one should perform the duties that we are supposed to and offer the fruits to the Supreme Lord. Because now that unflinching faith on the path of bhakti has not risen, therefore, whatever our activities are in life, we should perform and offer the fruits to the Supreme Lord. By doing that, shuddhyartham anushteyah, the consciousness becomes purified. Jnana lava anantaram tu na tasya kinchit krityam asti iti aha jñānam labdhvā tu acireṇa parām śāntim moksham prapnoti. Then he says, after the consciousness gets cleansed by giving the fruits of our activities to Vishnu, like for example, one likes to eat. Okay, one cooks, but then one thinks that first I will offer it to Vishnu. Only then I will eat. So in this way, whatever he is doing, that activity gets purified because Vishnu is being offered the fruit first. Let's say one is working a full-time IT professional job. One has to do it, So then what one does? Then he offers the fruits of those activities. Let's say the wealth that comes out of it through his, through his salary. He gives the first portion of that to the Supreme Lord, service to the Vaishnava, service to Krishna, etc. By doing that systematically, shuddhyartham anushteyah, his consciousness gets purified. Then after that, slowly but surely, tasya kinchit krityam asti, na asti. Then he starts realizing, wait a minute, what am I doing? For whom? Ultimately, I have come in this world to give myself to Krishna. So that realization starts coming up. And after that, jñānaṁ labdhvā, he slowly walks on this path given by Shri Guru, attains the knowledge that Krishna is present in all directions, and acireṇa, very quickly, parām śāntim moksham prapnoti. He attains supreme bliss. What kind of supreme bliss? That we'll come to in a bit. Srila Prabhupada, in his commentary to this verse, he says two things. Srila Prabhupada says, believe in Krishna and act in Krishna consciousness. Now, what does that mean? Prabhupada makes it very simple. He says, just do three things in life. One, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Second, control your senses. Don't let your senses go here and there. The senses will drive you here and there. They will distract, but don't go. That's the second. And the third is serve Krishna through all of your senses. These are the three things. Prabhupada says, chant the holy name, control your senses, and serve Krishna. If you do these three things, Prabhupada says success is guaranteed without any delay. What does Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur write in his Sarartha Darshini Tika? He says how to attain success. Three things again. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says three things. He says first and foremost, like Sridhar Swami, he says perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. If your heart is not completely having faith in Bhakti, no problem, perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. Then after the consciousness gets cleansed, have complete faith in Shastra and use your intelligence. Second point. And third point, give yourself completely to Shri Guru and control your senses. If you do these three things, you will get the same thing. Now, Bhurijan Prabhu in Surrender Unto Me book, he gives a very beautiful analysis of this verse. He says that apart from this verse being some knowledge for us, contextually, it is advice for Arjuna. Why? Arjuna is saying, by killing, what will I get? So Krishna is saying, you don't worry about it, perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. You do your duty and offer those fruits to me because I am telling you to do. Point number one. Second, control your senses means control your emotions. And third, tat-paraḥ, be steadfast on this process. If you do this, you will see that the person who is telling you instruction is the person sitting in your heart, is the person who is the universal form, and is the person who is giving you strength in your heart as Paramatma. It's the same person. And by doing this, you will get liberation from all anxiety. So in this way, different commentators have mentioned different things. Back to the verse. Śraddhā-vān labhate jñānaṁ. So when we have this kind of faith, we will achieve the vision that Krishna is present in all directions. Now, two things are very important for a devotee. Two things are very, very important. What is that? Tat-paraḥ. One should be fixed on that path. One should be very fixed. Prabhupada translates it as attachment on the path of bhakti. Very fixed. Tat-paraḥ. Iska arth kya hua? What does this mean? This means Vaidhi Bhakti. Waking up early in the morning, taking a shower, chanting the holy name, worshipping the deities, chanting our Gayatri mantras, worshipping Tulsi, hearing Hari Katha, reading Shastra, and then having breakfast and things like that. Having vidhi, tat-paraḥ, to have discipline in life. To have discipline in life. Like for example, for success in anything, we have to follow rules. We have to follow rules. If you have to perform well at work, you have to be under a boss. If you have to perform well as a student, you have to be under the teacher. If someone starts acting whimsically, jatha mat tatha path, I will act the way I want, you will not get any result. You have to have a goal, and you have to have a superior under whom we have to work. Let's say, for example, if you have to be on a ship, you need to have a compass. You need to have a direction where that ship is going. Now, if you take that compass and you throw it into the ocean, then you don't know where the ship is going to go. You will keep going, but you will not go anywhere with it, right? This is first example. Second example, imagine playing football or soccer, as you call it in America, soccer or football. Imagine if you take the goal post away and you just keep dribbling with the ball. What's happening? You're losing energy, you're losing time, you're kicking and you're fighting and dribbling, but you're going nowhere with it because nobody gets any score because there's no goal post, right? So tat-paraḥ means to have two things. In a ship also, you have compass and you have the captain. Two things. One who's driving it and one who's giving direction. In the game of football, you have two things. You have a goal post and you have a coach, right? Coach is someone who guides and goal post is the destination. Similarly, on the path of bhakti, we need these two things. The coach is Guru and the goal post is Shastra. That is where all our endeavor should go. The compass in our life is Shastric injunctions, the scriptures, the words of the scripture. This is tat-paraḥ. So we are going word by word on 39. Śraddhā-vān labhate jñānaṁ. Such a person will get knowledge that Krishna is present everywhere, provided he has two qualities. Tat-paraḥ. He should be very, very steadfast on that path. He should have a goalpost, which is on the basis of Shastra, on the basis of scriptures. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam te karya akarya vyavastitam. Yaha Shastra vidim utsrujya vartate kamakaratah nasa siddhim amapnoti na sukham na parām. Krishna has very clearly said, very clearly, that you will have your opinion, he will have his opinion, she will have his opinion. Ultimately, what will give you success is God's opinion, which is Shastra. If we keep Shastra aside and we go according to our mind, because our mind is contaminated, our results will be failure. Because the mind today will say, do this, tomorrow mind will say, do that. People are following their mind, therefore they end up shooting others and shooting themselves also. You see, the mind is taking them and creating havoc. So we should follow Shastra. Shastra is like a road map. You want to go somewhere, you have to put on the GPS. You have to have a road map, right? Imagine if somebody has to go from place A to place B. He doesn't have a map. He will keep driving. And another person is asking him, okay, where are you going with your car? He says, well, wherever the road takes me, I'm going there. Such a person is called mad because he's driving, but he doesn't know where he's going. This is what we do with our life. When we don't have a life manual, when we don't have a map, when we don't have a compass, when we don't have a goal post in our life, how can we be tat-paraḥ? We think we are doing everything right, but it may not be properly as per the scriptures, right? So tat-paraḥ means to follow two things: have a coach, which means guru, and have a goalpost that directs our endeavor, that is shastra. So tat-paraḥ means to realign our life on the basis of scriptures and on the basis of the spiritual master. And saṁyatendriyaḥ, which means complete sense control. Now, some people ask this question: why should I control my senses? Why can't I be a good devotee, a spiritual person, and yet at the same time enjoy things of this world, right? Some people ask this question. Well, we have a few thoughts for that. Imagine if you have a specific pole. There's a pole, and there is one bull pulling the pole from here, and there is one bull pulling the pole from here, and there is one bull pulling the pole from here, and there is one bull pulling the pole from here. The pole doesn't go anywhere because from all four sides, equally strong bulls are pulling, right? So the pole doesn't go anywhere. On the other hand, you have the pole and you have all four bulls pull from one direction. What happens? The pole breaks, right? So whenever some effort is gone in one direction, the result is faster. But when the efforts are in all directions, the effort is in all directions, then the result is not complete, right? So if we give our senses partly to this world and partly to Krishna, then we don't get the result, desired success very quickly, the desired results very quickly. On the other hand, if we give all of our senses 100% to Krishna, then the results are faster because they're all going in one direction. Second example, imagine when someone digs a well, they're digging the ground to get some water. If you dig little bit and you let go, and then you dig somewhere else and let go, and you dig somewhere else and let go, you won't get water anywhere. Instead, if you give all of that energy in one place straight, then the probability of getting water is faster because all of your energies are concentrated in one direction. So similarly, when all of our senses are concentrated in one direction towards serving Krishna, the probability of getting water of spiritual success is faster. Third example, imagine you keep a piece of paper under the sun. What happens? The paper just gets hot. But now you take a magnifying glass and you streamline all of those rays of the sun through the magnifying glass on the paper. According to the experiments in science, the paper catches fire. Everyone knows that, the experiment, right? When you keep the paper under the sun, it just gets hot. But when you concentrate and streamline all of those rays of the sun through the magnifying glass, then the paper doesn't just get hot, it catches fire. Because now here, the rays are all concentrated in one direction. But previously, when there is no magnifying glass, what happens? The rays of the sun are going in all directions and the paper just gets hot. It doesn't catch fire. So the point is, when some effort is put in a concentrated, one-pointed, one-aligned manner, then the effect seen is worth seeing. So similarly, saṁyatendriyaḥ means our senses should all be one-pointed in the service of Krishna. Because if they go in all directions, the tongue goes towards eating, and the belly goes somewhere else, and the ears are going somewhere else, and the eyes are going somewhere else, and the mind is going somewhere else, and we say that I am also a devotee, the paper may get hot, but the paper will not catch fire. Meaning, we may have some pious sukriti or piety collected, but not much spiritual advancement seen because of lack of focus. So when all the senses are controlled from all distractions and full on given in one direction towards serving Krishna, then we will see, we will get this knowledge quicker. Why delay? Why waste time? We've been in this world millions and millions of lifetimes and we haven't seen Krishna face to face. Why not give all of our senses, control our senses and give it in one direction? So now we can get the result, desired result or success. Such a person, śraddhā-vān labhate jñānaṁ, tat-paraḥ, who is fixed with spiritual master and shastra, and saṁyatendriyaḥ, who has sense control, In fact, in the 4th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 31, text 19, Krishna has said, Dayaya sarva bhuteshu santushtya yena kenava sarvendriya upashantya cha tushyati ashu janardhana. In fact, Narada Muni is saying this, the success to reach Krishna's heart. He says, Dayaya sarva bhuteshu. Have compassion on everyone. Point number 1. Point number 2, santushtya yena kenava. Be satisfied in all walks of life. And 3, sarva indriya upashantya cha. Control all your senses. If you do these 3 things, have compassion for everyone and kindness for everyone, always be santushtya yena kenava. Always be satisfied in all situations of life. And 3, sarva indriya upashantya cha. Control all your senses and give it to Krishna. If you do these 3 things, then tushyati ashu janardhana. Then very quickly Krishna is satisfied. So in this way, by having faith, by being steadfast, by controlling the senses, then we will get jnāna, that the Supreme Lord is present. And having achieved that, parām śāntim adhigacchati, one will get supreme bliss. Now, why the word parām śāntim has been used, which means supreme bliss? Shanti means bliss of realizing that I don't belong to this world. I am an eternal being. That in itself gives a lot of bliss. But parām śāntim means the highest form of bliss is, I don't belong to this world, but I belong to Krishna, and I can get reinstated at his lotus feet with selfless, loving, transcendental service. And this happiness can be attained in one lifetime. How quickly? Acireṇa, without delay. The word chira means delay, and achira means without delay. Very quickly, adhigacchati, such a person gets it. You see, according to Sanskrit, the word śraddhā-vān has been used in a singular case. The word labhate, singular case. Tat-paraḥ, saṁyatendriyaḥ, singular case, not a plural usage. A singular usage has been used. Adhigacchati, all used for one person. Why? Because this process is so rare. You can't use plural usage. You can't say labhante. You can't say tat-paraḥ, saṁyatendriyaḥ, adhigacchati. The plural usage cannot be used here because it's a very rare path. Instead of saying, śraddhā-vān, you can say śraddhā-vāntah, which means the plural usage. All those who are pious, they will all attain eternal peace. But Krishna is not using plural usage. Krishna is using singular tense. In English also we say he or she, and then you use plural usage as they, right? They. We say he runs, but then you say they run. So there's a difference in the verb usage for singular and for plural. So here the word labhate or adhigacchati, these are all for singular usage. Krishna is saying, śraddhā-vān, it's very rare to have such a person who has unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord and who controls his senses and who's steadfast on that path. And only such a person attains that transcendental knowledge of seeing Krishna everywhere, and he gets everlasting, eternal peace, joy, and ecstasy. So therefore, it's a very rare phenomenon. Therefore, singular tense has been used. Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana sudurlabha prashantatma kotishvapi mahamune. The 6th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 14, text 5 describes that of all the liberated personalities, one person out of millions and millions of liberated personalities, one person may become a pure devotee. So all of us, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual masters, we have this rare fortune of practicing this verse, of developing our faith, being steadfast on that path, controlling our senses, and then having the vision that Krishna is there in all circumstances, in the heart of every living being, and through all ups and downs and reversals in life, positive and negative. And by this process, we will attain Shanti. Before we wrap up, I just want to make one last point. When you read a book in a moving circumstance, let's say it's a crowded bus and the bus is moving and you're trying to read a book, but then you're not able to because it's constantly moving. What happens? You don't feel comfortable. You feel you want to throw up, you want to vomit, you feel nausea, which means when you focus on something that moves, you feel uncomfortable. But on the other hand, when you have to read it at home, let's say like I am reading right now, I don't feel any discomfort because it's not moving. So when you try to focus on something that doesn't move, you feel satisfaction. But when you focus on something that is moving, you feel discomfort. Don't all of us do this in life? We are focusing on the material things which are there today, but will be lost tomorrow. They are constantly moving. So when we focus on things which move, we feel spiritually uncomfortable and dissatisfied. But when we focus on things which are steady, which is Krishna's presence, beyond and behind all the moving things of this world is the unseen hand of God. So when we focus on that steady reality, then we feel satisfaction. We feel parām śāntim. We get supreme joy in life. So having said this, I want to stop here. And if there are any comments, corrections, reflections, additions, questions, anything you want to add or ask or comment or suggest or correct, I would be very, very happy to hear from you. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. That was very, very nice. Thank you for all the others who were listening. I can see there is one comment in the comment section. Maybe we'll do that first. And then we have 3 people who have lined up, who have used the raised hands feature. The comment in the comment section, since you quoted a commentary from Sridhar Swami, the comment says by Somya Brata Sahu, it says Sridhar Swami was an Advaita commentator. Maybe you can briefly say something about that before we request the others to ask their questions.
Yeah, so to call Sridhar Swami an Advaita commentator is actually an offense on the personality of Sridhar Swami, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Sridhar Swami as the best commentator on the Bhagavatam. And one commentator, he told Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this is there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that actually my commentary is better than Sridhar Swami. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ended up chastising him for that. So, well, to call him an Advaitin commentator is not good. He's a Vaishnava commentator. But however, we do see that there may be some traces of Advaita interpretation in Sridhar Swami's commentary, and that is found all the time. Even in the prayers of Gajendra, Gajendra calls out to the Supreme Lord in some mysterious ways. The prayers of the elephant Gajendra. There are some names which seem to be an impersonalistic approach. But that doesn't mean you reject the whole prayer of Gajendra. What the Vaishnava commentators do is they just realign the understanding. You know, they make it just those sections or those names are just aligned in a Vaishnava conducive way, and then it is accepted. Even Srila Sridhar Swami in his commentary to the Bhagavatam, one commentator writes that there may be some traces of impersonalism, but that doesn't mean you reject Sridhar Swami or you reject his commentary or reject the Bhagavatam in totality. What you do is you just take those couple of sentences of Sridhar Swami and you flip it in a Vaishnava way and you take it, because 99% of the commentary, the sections of the commentary are aligned in the Vaishnava school of understanding.
I can see we have 3 people who have raised their hands. The first one was Adarsh Sharma. He raised his hand quite early. I suppose that was intentional, or maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes people have some slip of their finger and then it happens. But yes, he is raising his hand. And if you have a question, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I had one question. Like, as you said in one lecture that Prahlad Maharaj didn't see his Gurudev. Prahlad Maharaj has not seen his Gurudev, Narad Muni, and he has heard about Krishna in the womb of Kayadu Mata. And while listening, and he developed love to Krishna. So we are also listening from great devotees like you, Amog Leela Prabhuji, and many such more devotees in ISKCON. So why we are not developing that love with Krishna, and why we are not becoming as good as them?
Point number one, because I'm talking about myself. To compare me to Narada Muni is a joke in itself. Point number one. Point number two, to compare the listeners to Prahlad Maharaj is the second joke. Because it is one thing to hear, and it is one thing to hear with intensity. There are many levels of hearing also, and there are many levels of speaking also. Like, for example, a listener could hear just out of entertainment. He likes to hear a certain person. So I want to hear, maybe I like the jokes, maybe I like the stories, maybe I like the language, maybe I like the topic, right? One could be just out of excitement. Second level of hearing could be, oh, I want to know more. Oh, this was a very nice thing. I never thought of it like this. Oh, I want to know this perspective. I had never thought of it like this. Third level of hearing is, oh, I want to hear so that I can share it with others. So I get nice points so I can share it with others. But the deepest level of hearing, or another level could be, well, hearing about Krishna, the limb of bhakti. So let me hear and to perform Shravanam. But the ultimate level of hearing, in the highest level of intensity, imagine if there is someone, you take their head and push them underwater, and then you take it out, and then they feel, but then you push it again. When you push the head underwater, how much intensely do they want to get out of water? Very intense, right? So when we want to hear with that level of intensity, that what I'm going to gain today, I want to apply in my life. And this is what Krishna wants to teach me today. I really need it. As the soul, I am stuck in the water of this world, and the head is eager to get out. I want to be eager to get out of this world and find Krishna. And therefore, I want to apply the principles of this class in my life and make advancement. So when the intensity is of that level, and the speaker is speaking out of selfless compassion, then there is explosion. Krishna spoke out of compassion, Arjuna heard in intensity. Bhagavad-gītā came up. Shukdev Goswami spoke out of compassion, Parikshit Maharaj heard out of intensity because he had only 7 days. Bhagavatam came up. Bhagavad-gītā came because of Krishna and Arjuna. Bhagavatam came because of Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. So in this way, we can see whenever the speaker and the listener both are sincere in their endeavor. Speaker is sincere in compassion, nothing else. Speaker does not want name, fame, following, celebrity status, fan following, respect, honor, recognition, or he does not want popularity, XYZ, all the different things that a speaker could be distracted by. If he focuses only on selflessly performing this service out of compassion, and the listener is hearing out of intensity that I want Krishna, to the extent the purity is there in the speaker, and to the extent the purity is there in the listener, there will be purity in execution. Otherwise, we may be collecting information, but we will have no transformation. We may have some juice for the head, but there is no drenching of the heart. Make sense?
Okay. Yes, Guruji. Thank you. And I also remember this story of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I had only 5% charging, so please take my question.
We'll move back to or an assign.
It appears we have lost. Oh, Anu, is it, if you are still with us, then you can speak. I think it was you who just said that you have 5% left.
Yes, 5% charging only.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Prabhuji, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that Bali Maharaj did not obey his Guru Shukracharya's orders because Shukracharya said that you don't give this Vaman boy one footstep of the land, he will take your whole kingdom. So if we disobey the Guru, we get offense. But Bali disobey the Guru, he gets the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why is it, Prabhuji? Hare
So
Krishna.
So if the spiritual master tells us not to serve Krishna, then such a guru is worth rejecting. Bali Maharaj was told by Shukracharya, don't give anything to Vishnu. So then such a guru should be rejected. And if you reject such a guru, then you will get Krishna. But guru means he who takes you to Krishna. We have to listen to that guru who will take you to Krishna, not take you away from Krishna. If someone is taking us away from Krishna, then that person should have no position in our life. Whether it was father for Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu, it was mother for Dhruva Maharaj, Suruchi, it was brother for Vibhishan in the form of Ravan, or whether husbands for the gopis, or guru for Bali. They were the closest relatives possible, but they were taking them away from Krishna. Therefore, they kept distance and then they got Krishna. But if the guru is taking us towards Krishna, then we should never disobey. We should agree completely.
Okay, we have the next one. That is Mukhi Devi Dasi. She has raised her hand and we can already see her. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, can I ask you in Hindi?
बिल्कुल आप पूछ सकते
हैं. Thank you, Prabhu. Actually, आपका lecture बहुत अच्छा है. प्रभु, आपने जैसे आप पहले भी बहुत सारे लेक्चर्स में हम लोगों ने सुना है और आपने स्टार्टिंग में एक्सप्लेन किया था कि जो डिवोटीज होते हैं वो टॉप मोस्ट जो डिवोटी हैं वो भगवान से कुछ नहीं मांगते, जो भगवान देते हैं उसको एज इट इज एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं. तो लेकिन प्रभु जैसे टॉप मोस्ट डिवोटीज में तो पांडवास, द्रौपदी, ये सब आते हैं, गजेंद्र आते हैं. तो जब ये लोग डिस्ट्रेस में होते हैं, जैसे हम लोग 7.16 भागवत गीता में है कि 4 प्रकार के जो भक्त होते हैं वो भगवान को बहुत प्रिय होते हैं. तो अगर हमें मांगना है तो हम सिर्फ भगवान से ही मांगेंगे ना. मतलब मुझे ना ये कॉन्सेप्ट एक्चुअली मैं एक्सेप्ट कर रही हूँ कि आई एम मूर्ख, मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा कि हम लोग मांगे या ना मांगे. क्योंकि प्रहलाद महाराज बोलते हैं कि जैसे हम लोगों के जीवन में दुख बिना कहे आ जाता है, सुख भी बिना कहे आ जाएगा. लेकिन कृष्णा इज द सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉडहेड. वो हमारे पिता हैं. अगर हम उनसे नहीं मांगेंगे तो हम किससे मांगेंगे? और हम मनुष्य हैं. अगर हम लोग घबरा जाएंगे, इस सिचुएशन में है, घबरा गए, हमें किसी चीज की जरूरत है, क्योंकि अगर हम लोग घबराहट में, डिस्ट्रेस में है, तो हमारा कॉन्शियसनेस, जो कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस है, वो एक साइड रह जाता है. वो सिर्फ एक कहने के लिए रह जाता है कि हम डिवोटी हैं, चैंटिंग कर रहे हैं. लेकिन उसको हम लोग प्रैक्टिकली अपनी लाइफ में, मैं नहीं ले पाती. सिर्फ कहने के लिए मेरा चैंटिंग चलता है, क्वालिटीज नहीं आ पाते हैं. आप समझ रहे हो? तो मांगे या ना मांगे, वो मुझे आज तक वो कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में नहीं आया. क्योंकि मांगना है तो सिर्फ कृष्णा से मांगना है, और नहीं मांगना है तो क्यों नहीं मांगना?
Okay, so for those who are English speaking, I will quickly try to translate this question. The question is, in simple words, the question is, should we ask Krishna? We were discussing that pure Vaishnavas, they never ask Krishna anything. They are selfless in their endeavor. They don't ask Krishna anything. They just serve Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. So should we ask or should we not ask? If we should not ask, then as conditioned souls, whom should we go and ask? We say, no, don't worship demigods, worship only Krishna, and Krishna is our eternal Father. But if we don't go and ask our eternal Father, whom do we go and ask? And if we can ask, but then why are we saying that pure Vaishnavas never ask? And then if that is true, then we see example of Draupadi. She was begging in the Kuru Sabha when she was being disrobed. She called out to Krishna for her own protection. So she's asking Krishna for protection. And if she's asking, then how is she pure? And if she's a pure devotee, then how is she asking for protection? So in simple words, should we ask for protection, or should we ask Krishna, or should we not ask Krishna? How to understand this whole? Okay, so akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. The second canto Srimad Bhagavatam has described that akama, whether we are selfless or sarvakama, or we are filled with all desires, what we should do? We should have only one approach. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. That I will go only to Krishna. Even if I have no desires, or if I have all desires, the only person I will approach is Krishna. I will not take help of any astrological consultation. I will not take help of any demigod. I will not take help of any godmen. I will not take help of any superstition. I will not take help of anyone, individually or collectively. Only Krishna. Even if I have material desires, I will serve only Krishna. I will ask only Krishna. Then it is okay, no problem. Dhruva Maharaj had material desire. He wanted a house bigger than, his father, great-grandfather, etc. And when Krishna appeared, Vishnu appeared, Dhruva Maharaj said, Kajan vichinvan api divya ratnam swamin kritarthosmi varam nayach. I have nothing to ask. I have got you. I don't want to ask. Now, if Vishnu would have agreed on to that, my Guru Maharaj says, people would have created a fault or would have criticized the Lord that, oh, wow, you make a little child perform tapasya, and then you just appear before him and make him forget what he wanted, right? So what did Vishnu do? Okay, you don't want anything from me, but I still want to give you, so that the whole world will get to know that even if you have material desires, you can come to me and I will fulfill them in such a way that I will give you the material desire, but before I give you the material desire, I'll give myself to you. So you will forget the material desire. So there have been so many people who have gone to the Supreme Lord with material desires, and he has fulfilled. There is no problem with that. We have to be honest and truthful to the level of spiritual advancement we are at. If we are not that advanced, there is no point acting advanced. Somebody who's in first grade or second grade has to be honest that he's in first grade or second grade. Right? So if we are at a level where naturally we feel a desire to ask, we can go and ask Krishna, not to anybody else. Better to ask Krishna, right? Like if the child needs money and the child goes to the neighbor's house and knocks and says, can you give me $100 or 100 rupees? The father will not like it. The father will say, you don't need any money because I'm taking care of you. But even if you need, you come and ask me. Don't go and ask anyone else. So Krishna is our father. All the demigods, they are neighbors. So Krishna says, you don't need money. If you need, I will give you. You don't need any material desires. If you want to fulfill, I will fulfill it to you. Fulfill it for you. But even if you still want to ask me. Don't ask anyone else. This is point number one. Now the purest Vaishnavas, like Mother Yashoda, what will they go and ask Krishna? Krishna goes and asks Mother Yashoda. When Krishna needs to sleep, he goes to Mother Yashoda and says, tell me some night stories, bedtime stories. She doesn't go to Krishna and say, give me this, give me that, because the level of devotion is so high class. They don't see Krishna as God. They see Krishna as Lala, a baby, or their lover or friend. So they are not going to Krishna because he's God. They are going to Krishna because they have affection for him. So therefore, they naturally don't ask Krishna anything. They just ask Krishna for blessings so that he is happy. But then the question is, then Draupadi is the highest devotee. Why did she ask? So now, or another example, the friends of Krishna, where they were being burnt in the forest fire. Why did they say, Krishna, Krishna? Hey Rama, Mogha Vikrama, oh Balaram, oh Krishna, please save me. So why did the friends shout? And why did Draupadi shout? Well, the acharyas describe the friends shouted for rescuing, for helping, not because they didn't want to die. The friends were thinking, if we die, Krishna and Balaram, whom will you play with tomorrow? You will have no one to play with. So you please save my life so that tomorrow you will have a friend to play with. So even when they're calling out, in that externally it seems like protection for themselves, but they're actually calling out for Krishna's pleasure. And as far as Draupadi is concerned, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on his commentary to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he has described that when there is a life-threatening situation, and if someone calls out to Krishna for protection, this is considered to be selfless only. Why? Because the body belongs to whom? Krishna only. We belong to whom? Krishna only. So if we who belong to Krishna need protection of the body which belongs to Krishna, if we don't go to Krishna, where else will we go? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, when someone has life-threatening situation and they call out to Krishna, that is not selfish, that is selfless. Like Gajendra, like the friends, like Draupadi. So ideally, they don't ask. And even if they ask, it is selfless. And we, in our level, if we feel like asking, we can ask, but ask only Krishna, but perform service. Not that once he gives it, give him up. There are people who do that. Once Krishna fulfills their desire, they let Krishna go away. No, continue. Tivrena. Even if he doesn't give, serve him. Even if he gives, continue to serve him. Then we are not business minded. Is that okay?
थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु. प्रभु मेरे को एक कन्फेस करना है. एक्चुअली मैंने आपको गौरंगा देश यात्रा में देखा था, तब मेरा एक बेटा था और मैं आपके लेक्चर और अमोघ लीला प्रभु दोनों के लेक्चर सुनती थी, तो मैं कंफ्यूज हो गई कि मेरा बेटा किसके जैसा बने, आपके जैसा या अमोघ लीला प्रभु के जैसा. कृष्णा मर्सी मुझे दूसरा बेटा हुआ तो आई प्लीज जगन्नाथ से प्रे करना कि दोनों बेटे एक अमोघ लीला प्रभु जैसा बने और एक अमरेंद्र प्रभु जैसा बने.
So Mataji wants me to pray that her children should become like Amogh Leela Prabhu, one very senior devotee in Mumbai, in Delhi. So I will sincerely pray that all of the family members
and one is become like you, Prabhu,
and they sincerely follow the path of bhakti and they serve Krishna to the fullest of their ability.
Okay, we have some more questions, some people who have lined up. We also have some questions in the chat box, which we will be tackling later. But first of all, I think we should let Suchitra Revati Devidasi speak because she raised her hand quite early. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this could be the last question, if possible.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the excellent class. Prabhu, I have a question. As you were kindly telling that Sanatana Goswami was telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not to go with the other people, not to go with the other devotees as they were having different moods. So if anything happens in our life, like two devotees will be suggesting us regarding any particular decision. So how can you understand that which is the direct message from Krishna, because both the devotees? So how to judge in that very situation?
Well, the words of the spiritual master matter the most. The words of the Diksha Guru matter the most. The one who has given us Harinam and the one who has given us Gayatri Mantra, his opinion, his words, his instructions, his guidance, his perspective, his viewpoint, his direction in life is all that matters. Different people will have different moods and they'll have different suggestions, but whatever our Gurudev wants is what we should. We are servants of our Gurudev, and whoever aligns to that thought, we can accept that. But we see generally people may have different opinions. We respect that from a distance, but the words of our Gurudev should be the words of the Shastra for us.
Thank you so much for the kind answer. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much. That was it. We we had some people who have still some questions, but unfortunately we have run out of time. Also, thank you for participating. Thank you for the patience. we hope to have another opportunity to have another lecture with Amarendra Prabhu, and that time we will have learned, and we will certainly make arrangements for you to see and listen the lecture without any trouble. I can see here for Prabhuji's upcoming lecture updates, there is a WhatsApp group. There is a link in the chat box. You can take that link and then become part of the WhatsApp group. We will also be putting up a recording of this lecture onto our YouTube channel. We will let you know as soon as we have it. And just a brief announcement, next week we will have a lecture about the subsequent verse 440 by Lokapavani Devidasi, who will be joining us from Switzerland. And yeah, you can see here in the chat box also our Facebook page, our YouTube, our Instagram, and we will be updating our posts and making available some our recording of this lecture. And thank you very much. Thank you so much, Amarendra Prabhu, for your patience and for being with us and for inspiring us. That was really a nice lecture. I must admit, when people told me, or some devotees told me, you should really invite him, I had not known you. I had not heard of any of your lectures. I was thinking, well, if there are multiple requests from our congregation, it must be good. And I'm now convinced, yes, it was a good decision to have you with us. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you for being with us, and have a good day, have a good night. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So my obeisances to the deities, my obeisances to the temple management, my obeisances to all the wonderful senior Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. I sincerely apologize for the internet glitch here. I was switching my phone on mobile data. Please kindly forgive me. I did not, it was something that was beyond, I had not foreseen that. But hopefully next time when we join, the internet would be, the Wi-Fi would be properly in tune. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna, thank you.